Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
I've been having discussions with beautiful people, some enlightened, just warriors in the way of peace, in the way of expansion, in the way of inner joy. And I've been listening to a lot of these conversations, and it's so insightful. One of the things that I've been learning lately is something that I learned a while back, but I'm exploring more deeply about water. Water. One of my favorite interviews with Bruce Lee is when he talks about becoming water. Be water, my friend. Water can flow or it can crash. Right? You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. And not only that, but things can actually change the water. Even though water takes the shape of its container, so much about the structure of the water, the molecules, the energy, so much of that can be structured in a way that represents whatever energy is given to it. It takes on that energy. Now we know there's a saying, when water is still, it becomes stale. Or if you see still water, look out for the poison. But there's also something else with water. Whatever energy we put into that water, if we ingest that water, we get that energy back. There was an experiment done on water where the person who was experimenting would speak to the water in such a way that he did A/B testing. And in one patch of water, he would talk nice things to it. He would really give love to the water. I love you. You are so wonderful. I'm grateful for you. Blessings for you. Gratitude. Thank you. Thank you, water. And that water, when frozen, formed crystalline structures that were beautiful under the microscope. Then he tested this out on another batch of water, where he did the opposite. He said, I hate you. I hate you. You're terrible. You're nothing. Just spitting so much hatred and vile at the water. And once again, frozen under the microscope, these crystalline structures that water formed were very grotesque and ugly and just hideous looking structures compared to these beautiful, wonderful crystalline structures of the water that received the love. Then he thought to himself, maybe it's just my imagination. What if there's more here? And so he wrote down on a piece of paper the word love, the word peace, the word joy, happiness, putting the water on top of the piece of paper with the word. And yet again, the crystalline structures formed those of love. And then he tried again, placing a hateful word under another batch of water, and once again noticed the same thing. This gives credence to the power of words, the power of intention, the power of affirmation. We see confirmation in everything we affirm. And when we realize that we are made up mostly of water, we understand that there is a deeper work at play, an inner work at constant play. We are constantly speaking to ourselves, thinking to ourselves, and nothing goes unnoticed. In this age where I'm learning more about water, and there are even people who go so far as to test it out themselves, do your own experiment. There's a girl who I heard plays solfeggio music, healing frequencies to the water before she drinks it. There is another gentleman who says that he will place water on books of divine knowledge, books of people who have written great works, and he will sit the water on top of these books. And then after a time, he will take the water and he will tip the water back and consume that divine consciousness, consume that knowledge. Do you think it's far-fetched? Perhaps. Perhaps not. Perhaps everything we see, think, feel counts, and that there is more to this world than we even realize. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I trust you received an encouraging message about water, maybe getting you to take an insightful look at your own body, your own thoughts, your own words that you speak, even the ones that you don't even realize slip out. Understand that everything counts in this world, everything that you do. It's all affecting you. It's affecting your biochemistry. It's affecting your mind. It's affecting you, your DNA, your structure. We are ever changing, ever new, impermanent, always in flux. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if this is your first time receiving this podcast, subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you'd like to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking the support button there is much appreciated. Big shout out to all the wonderful supporters who continue to contribute to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night, wherever you are, my friend. Be water. And take care.